Okay, welcome back. It's my first Sunday salvage videos in a couple weeks. I skipped it. I was hoping they had a scissor gate for me today. Did not, because I know where it is. It's been months since I pulled it down. I have to really go in there and bug him when I have more time and be like, dude, let's look for that scissor gate. Can we go check this? He's like, I think it's in the warehouse. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he told me last time it was in the van over here. We'll see. I get some stuff. Not a lot. I showed up like 5 or 6 minutes late. Wasn't trying to buy everything. I got this wheel. It is a 27.5 wheel. It's through axle. It's got a big Sunrace cassette on it. It's got a TRP 160 disc rotor on it. And I got it. If I can make this thing round and true, I will use it as a frame builder wheel. What I did not check was this through axle nonsense to make sure this is even a size that people use anymore. They made like 7 sizes of these and only one became common, like everything in bikes. Everyone rushes to do a bunch of weird stuff, everyone has to buy all the tools and all the things, and all of a sudden it's obsolete. This is my through axle checker gauge. I got this from Wheels Manufacturing at the Made Bike Show. So if you don't have one of these, you should go on the website. Everything else they make is amazing too. And it's got, one side says 15, one side it says 12. Well, it doesn't seem to be 12 or 15. What does that mean? I do not know. It's also got some slop in the axle. It's so close to 15. I mean, I guess it's 15 at the threads, but it doesn't go through the axle. This 12 side just flops around in here. The whole thing goes through and fits. Maybe that means it's 15. It's got a 1.75 and a 1.5 thread pitch. This is worthless. Just because I don't know what I'm doing. Not. Tool's probably great if you know what you're doing. Wheels Manufacturing through axle clear plastic tool. I do not have the legit Park one of these or legit machinist one. It's just like an aluminum caliper from some like art kit or something I found at Goodwill. Whatever does the job. It's so finicky. I've been daydreaming about remaking this caliper. Instead of being round on the top and the top come up and having a scale on it. So you're at 100, it reads 100 up here. If you're 120, it reads 120. If, I don't know if that's possible, but I might, cut one of these out of plastic or cardboard and see if I can figure that out. See if anybody wants one. Have someplace make them. It'll probably be way too expensive and no one will probably care. The old tapey measury. I'm getting 145. Is 145 a common size? I don't know. I thought it was like 142.5 or something. Maybe that's what it is. Touchy, don't adjusty. Maybe just under 145, like 144. I'll have to do some Googling or ask somebody who knows, but I'm hoping I can get this thing round and true and make it a frame builder dummy wheel because people want this through axle nonsense. They always have a ton of through axle wheels for 10 bucks. Oh yeah, I think this axle is not tightened down, so but it is. Oh yeah, look at all that turning. So but it is like 142 or something. Cool. Do I have room? No, because I got a bunch of dumb wheels I need to sell up here in the way. Okay, so that was that. At the end, someone was asking about stands or something. Carl's like, here's one you can have for free. They didn't want it. It is a all metal vintage stand. It's a square tube style. I think this is the kind that your crank sits down, and it's got a big groove so your pedal can sit out. And you can bolt your bike up with this. I think this might be good for up top. I want to put like a bike, like maybe my complete Northern Rando, which I never ride anymore, up on a shelf on display. The lights are kind of too bright, you can't really see up there. I might figure something out, so maybe this stand would be really cool for that. So I can drill holes and screw it down to the top of the shelf and have the bike sit there so you won't be able to see any stand or any wires or anything. Just have the bike sitting there hanging out. It was free, I grabbed it. I may or may not ever do anything with it. BMX Gary was there. He got me a couple more of these paddle fenders. I have like 5 zillion of these. People walk in asking about these every day at the shop. They usually have like one for sale or none for sale. The new ones are like 25 bucks. You could put these out for 12, 15 bucks and sell them all day long. They don't. They throw them all in the free box. I've made hundreds of dollars off of the fenders they just throw away there. It's not fender people. You live in Oregon, bro, figure it out. This park stand was there. It's got the wrong bolt, but it sure seems to work. This little bump stop's real mushed. But everything works. The wrong handle, it's got jaws. It's the old style stand, which is all I use and have. You know, I paid $80 for a pair of these not too long ago. I paid $40 for another pair of these not too long ago. Why wouldn't I grab it? They had another one, but the other kid, he grabbed it. But it looks like somebody cut it down, some weird stuff. This one's way better. I'm $20 into all this, so it was cheaps. This was in the free box because I couldn't find the other one. The other one was just sitting in a bin next to it full of derailleurs, so I grabbed it. I don't know why. I bet you absolutely 0 people are going to care, but I still grabbed it like a chump. So we will see. Some vintage 3T extra clamp-on arrowy bars. Lol. They're all surprised and they're like, oh, you found it. I'm like, yeah, it's right there. Like, everything's missing here. They're always throwing stuff in the free boxes missing, and then the other thing's like right there. Use zip ties. They had an entire bin of these new old stock Sun Tour 7 front derailleurs. They're not a super fancy derailleur, but they're brand new in the package. The back part's alloy. It's got a built-in cable stop for bikes that don't. The front part's steel. Arm cage is steel. So they're brand new with all the pinch bolts, hardware, everything in the bag. I got 2 or 3. I'm going to put them on eBay, see if anyone cares. If they do, then I might go buy the rest. Might put them up for $10 or something. You know, something cheap. It's just a cheapy old road derailleur for any low-end 70s bike, and it'll be great. There's 3 of those. This is in the free box. It's a Silka branded frame pump that, you know, like, gets bigger. It's holding air pressure. It's a little roadie pump. Universal, it says. That's a lie. That's it. This is a really nice pump. And it seems to work just fine. So, you know, I might play with it, try it out, whatever. It's free. Gary grabbed me this broken mirror with all the wrong hardware on it out of the free box. I am just gonna throw it away. No one wants mirrors with broken bits and missing hardware and stuff. But it was still nice of them. Here's a campy front derailleur that's just sitting in one of the wrong bins. You know, whatever. It says campy on it. It's not a fancy one or anything. It looks like 7 or 8 speed or something. It's there. It's not too gross. Grabbed it. Another Specialized stem in the free box. I got one of these in mint condition last time out of the free box. A black 80s Specialized by Ditto stem. I have it up on eBay for $45. Got a bunch of people watching it. I've set a few offers. No one's cared yet. This one's real scruffy and it's longer. So, but whatever. Still in the free box. And it's a nice Ditto Specialized stem. I got some Specialized bikes to do stuff with. I could always sand it and polish it or not care. Whatever, it's cool. Put on a scruffy fixie. This tire gauge is in the free box. It's just a cheapy plastic Slime brand PSI gauge. That may or may not work at all. It's got bars. It's got PSI 1 through 20. So this is definitely not a car one. This is definitely like a fat bike one. It might come in handy someday. Free tools, man. And I think the rest of this, he brought out the whole bin of Mayfac stuff that got donated. Oh. Interesting. Interesting. Well, this whole bin of Mayfac stuff, so I grabbed some of it. This is a set of like, no, it's a bunch of competition backs. It's a mismatched set. It's got all new nice hardware and pretty hangers and, oh no, there's a front. Mayfac competition. And it has at least one hard mount stud, like a Diacomp hard mount stud. And the hardware for it. And nice springs. And new bushing. I think there's only one stud. I feel like I might have an extra one of these studs I got someplace else mixed matched. So I might have a pair. I mean, they're only 13 or 14 bucks for a set. But whatever. One frame builder parts. Here is a couple of used levers that are not scruffy at all. They're the black plastic on them. They're Mayfac. I swore I'd never mess with this Mayfac stuff again. But it is just so hot and I cannot help myself. Here is another not scruffy Recton Mayfac lever. I mean, a lot of this stuff is new old stock. This thing looks brand new. It might be new old stock. Here is a Mayfac, also not scruffy. Also no signs it's ever been on a bike. It's a little dirty, but it's got the double drilling on the top. It's a tandem. Usually the tandem ones are a little shorter, so you get more leverage. And they have the double holes so you can pull 2 brakes. I don't know if they're made for, I think they're made for the front end. Like a lot of tandems just had double brakes on them and stuff, you know. The back and the front separator. I don't know how old tandems is. I don't do old tandems. Here's a bunch of new old stock Mayfac bolts with hardware. And I sort of dug and tried to grab all the ones that are like the shiny chrome and not the ones that are like the later dull cheap finish. Here's one Mayfac racer that's quite probably new old stock. I see no tighten down marks, wrench marks, tool marks. It's got the good chrome bolts, so I grabbed it. It's got good springs. Here's a used Mayfac for sure, but it's got good chrome bolts. It's got good chrome pinch bolt. Some pad holders. Here's another one of the tandem double levers. Here's a bag just full of Mayfac brake mounts. So there's a little brake block, and one side goes against your flat brake, and the other side's half round for your half round fork round. Things are always handy. Then I went back again and filled up this bag. Here's another Mayfac racer. That looks pretty nice, but it's got the cheesy hardware, but it's got good springs. Here's a single Scott Maffhauser pad. I don't think I ever found the match. A lot of stuff's new old. Here's some new old stock Mayfac lever clamps. This is what goes around your handlebar and clamps your brake lever to your handlebar. There's some new old stock Diacomp bolts. More new old stock Mayfac. More new old stock Mayfac handlebar clamps. A single Mayfac Criterium Canty, missing the big hardware, but it has a little hardware and it looks new old stock. And it's amazing. And I have a set of these Criteriums that I'm not sure if they have all the hardware or not. So the Canty hardware is worth its weight in gold. It's like impossible to find. It might even go on eBay for 50 bucks. More new old stock bolts. These are the bolts that pinch around like your rear brake bridge and bolt the brake to them. 2 of these with nice chrome bolts and brand new hardware. So basically this whole bag is just a few more of those and just a bunch of these new old stock chrome bolts and new old stock hardware. And this Mayfac racer stuff is pretty much totally interchangeable with the Mayfac Raid stuff. The Raids are just a wider brake for 650B, so the backing plate's wider, the arms are longer, but all the hardware is the same. Some more Diacomp stuff. And a few of the washers and a few straddle cables for Diacomp. They had a bunch, but I didn't really dig through them, I didn't care. So not a lot, just a little Mayfac stuff and a wheel. 1 part tool arm, fair stand arm, 20 bucks. 20 bucks for all of them, including the wheel, which they charge 10 bucks for, so pretty good deal. This little Mayfac canny is hot. I might even use this as a frame builder canny. I guess if I had the brake pad, it'd be more handy, but it comes right out the center. I can really guesstimate it. Whenever I'm fiddling with bikes, it's good to have. I have a pile of brakes behind me, so I just did a bunch of cannies for this Fuji S12S LTD. Did 650B candies on it for the kid from Something Cycles. And I just did the Raleigh and checking stuff and There's some frame builder wheels, but it's good to have frame builder candy so you can make sure that you guesstimated your height right. That's why I have dummy wheels. Make sure the brake posts will hit the brake right. And because different brakes do crazy stuff. Use vintagey brakes, sometimes you have to put your candies up way too high. If you use modern brakes, I like to put them down a little bit lower so you can be in the middle of the pad adjustment just in case they're a little bit off or you use a weird brake or something. So it's good to have junk. This is so pretty. Little Mayfax big brass bushing, little machined arms, and I like to polish everything. I do have that Allegro. I think I'll probably start that next. I think I have basically all the parts. I need some 650B rims for it. I was about to order some for my bike. God, maybe I'll order some for that too. Get some more of those Velocity Atlases. They have a bunch in 32 in high polish on sale. I don't remember what the hubs I have are. They're probably 36. I'll have to go check and see if they're 36. And I'll build some wheels. I got those Campy Tipo high flange hubs. 5-speed only. Got a couple different derailleur options. I got some TA cranks, rings. Like I got some pretty stuff for it. Some pretty scruffy stuff. I got a real scruffy set of these brakes. It's all scruffy. It's all beater, which is kind of more fun because it's cheaper and freer. You have to worry about it or stress or spend $1,000 to build and spend $300 or $400 instead. Have a real cool rideable city rando bike. I might do a porter rack and upright bars. Make it like a city bike. It was basically what I just made my new handmade frame for. I was going to do like a vintagey one. So it'll probably be up for sale. I think it's a 60 centimeter as well. Maybe it might be a 58, but it's a big boy. But it'll be cool. And it's going to get some Mayfac Criterium canties. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'm sure I'll start a new project. I got the Beater MB2 frame. I did that video on the other day. Got a lot of views. I'm thinking about doing that as a free build. Only building it with parts I got for free or parts that have been sitting around here forever and are scruffy and don't really have a monetary value. Like maybe someday during a tune-up, some cranks are stripped and some $20 beat-up cranks. But just stuff. So that's already paid for itself. I bought a bike for $40 and I sold the shifters for $60. So like, the cranks are free off of it. Like whatever. I think that might be a real fun build for shop build. And I definitely have some front racks or baskets I'll put on it and make it my neighborhood cruiser. I'll ride up to Stoic Wheels and need to pick up the wheels. And, I'll ride it out to go burritos on lunch break. Or I'll always have a bike here even if I'm tempted to drive my car, which I do so much. I'll have a bike here in case I'm going to go bar hopping in the summer afterwards. Some customers or whatever. But anyways, again, yeah, thanks for watching.